Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Music Scene Investigation. Glad you joined us today. Rich Wildman here, and we got a lot of things going on. If you weren't with us last week, you may have missed out on the fact that Tommy decided to leave the show. He thought better of getting his recording studio up full-time, wanted to do that, so rather than spend time with Ian and I, yeah, he doesn't love us anymore, guys. That's all there is to it, I'm afraid. No, he actually, we're very proud of him for taking that big step, huge step on his part. We wish him the best of luck. And he will be joining us periodically as we move on through the time we have and review on the panel with us in and out as he has time to do so. So a big kudos to Tommy. We're going to miss him. If you missed last week's show, of course, you can catch it on YouTube, download it off iTunes, or even go to musicsceneinvestigation.com and take a look at it. On the broadcast today, we have 3 new songs that we're going to put in front of our panelists to find out what they think of the music that they're hearing. And they're from indie artists around the world. They send their music to musicsceneinvestigation.com to get it in front of our panel of experts. We'll select 3 randomly every week, which we did this week. And we'll find out what the panel thinks of them as well. Let's go and meet our panelist right now. Sitting in Tom Chianti's chair, it's Mr. James Anderson from Big Fish Media. Hey, James, how are you, sir?
Hi there, Rich. Great to be on the show again. Thanks for inviting me back, and it's nice to be in Tommy's shoes.
Well, they're big shoes to fill, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say they are.
And slightly whiffy.
It's nice to be back.
Well, it's good to have you with us. Now, Big Fish Media, that's where you can be found every day, all day, except when you're here, I guess.
Not lately. I've been away for a little while. I've been on holiday in France, and since I got back, I haven't had many days in the studio, to be honest, because I've been doing a lot of studying and working on other projects at the minute. But I've done 1 or 2 things for them recently, but nothing as exciting as before we went away, because we were doing a lot of foreign language stuff, including Arabic voiceovers, which was quite interesting.
That would be interesting. Now, I don't speak Arabic. The only foreign language I'm fluent in is Pig Latin. So if you get anything in Pig Latin you need done, give me a call. But that's it. Other than that, I'm just not fluent in anything but English. And even then, that's questionable.
The scary thing is my languages aren't that great either, but when you're working with translators, it usually is okay. But when you can't follow the different alphabet or the hieroglyphics that are in front of you on the script, then it makes life very interesting, and you have to rely on all manner of different cues and markers that you've dropped.
I can well imagine. Well, I'm glad you joined us. I'm glad you're sitting in Tommy's chair today. You even got a beard, just like Tommy did. So everybody, if you're confused, this is James Anderson and not Tommy.
I'm gradually mutating into him. Hopefully, I'll pick up his engineering skills, but
there you go.
I think I'd be a long way off.
You never know what's going to happen on MSI. We're glad you're here, James. Thank you for being here. And over in London, England, we have our very own Mr. Ian Husbands. Hey, Ian, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Rich. How's everyone else?
Not bad. Not bad, I think.
You think?
Yeah, we got audio problems we're trying to work out and stuff like that. But other than that, I think we're all okay. So what's been going on with you? You got a new shirt on. I don't think I've seen this one before.
Yeah, this is an old Batman one. Batman. It's just been we just had a very casual, laid-back weekend after a very busy week. I did put a new video out in the week, little Simpsons Lego animation. If anyone's interested, go and watch that. It's quite funny.
Why is it that Bart keeps trying to off Homer? What's the deal with that now? Maybe you can enlighten us.
The deal is that the Simpsons watch a show called Itchy and Scratchy, which is the mouse and the cat, and they generally beat each other up and hurt each other and kill each other. That's the idea of the cartoon. Bit like an extreme Tom and Jerry. So what I've done is I've swapped it around. Instead, you've got Itchy and Scratchy rushing for the sofa and sitting watching TV as Bart and Homer try and kill each other. And
I see. I didn't get that, I guess.
You're obviously not an avid watcher of The Simpsons, then, Rich.
No, apparently not. In fact, I don't think I may have watched maybe 2 Simpson shows in their whole tenure of being on air. Now, I read someplace that somebody's going to die on The Simpsons. Any guesses who it's going to be?
Mr. Burns. He's
think?
old, isn't he? He's old, isn't he? You know.
I don't know.
It's just going to be a really boring show where he dies of natural causes.
That could very well be. I don't know. We'll hold you to that, and we'll find out exactly who it is next time The Simpsons are on. I think they start their new season this week here in the U.S.
There you go. It'll probably be over in the UK sometime soon then.
Yeah, probably will be. All right, Ian, you have some results from last week's show for us, I believe, where we had, let's see, we had actually 2 songs in the running. Your song couldn't be in the running because, well, it was your song. So we had Big
Cheating.
Head.
Absolute cheating.
It is what it is. Come on, get over it. You know how. You're a big boy.
Right.
It is what it is. Big Head by Ian Husbands. Not in the running. Not at all. Egon with his song Never Turn Back, and Grant Harrison, Just a Little More Often, was the song of the week. What did everyone say in the witness statements, Ian?
Everyone went for song number 1.
Yeah, and tell me that again.
Everyone went for song number 3.
Yeah, there you go. At least they agreed with everybody.
All right.
They agreed, so that's good. It's all good.
Don't worry about my feelings. They're not hurt too much.
And, you know, if you write a song and submit it and do it totally anonymously and don't tell me it's from you, maybe we can think about it.
You promise?
As long as I don't recognize your voice.
I won't put on my English accent then. I'll do something like, I don't know, American.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. That'll be good.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. That'd be good.
Yeah, work
In fact,
on it.
this is one of the
Work on
few
it.
occasions where you really realise how English your own accent is coming on this show.
There you are. Exactly. Exactly.
It's not something
Boring.
you have to worry about from day-to-day life.
That's true.
I'm more English than English, darling. Guess what?
Our guest panelist today on the broadcast is a music producer, vocalist, and instructor. In fact, we're going to talk to her and get an update about that. I don't think she's been on the show since I know she hasn't been on the show since the last time she was on the show, which was when I believe we asked her about a student of hers, which was appearing on, what was the show? It was America's Got Talent, I think is what it was. Anyway, Andrea Bensmiller here today. Hey, Andrea, how are you?
Hi, Rich. Hi, Ian.
Hello.
It's great to see you.
It's good to see you guys.
It's been a while since we had you on. So what have you been up to? How have things been going?
Good, yeah. I did have that one student on America's Got Talent, which was exciting, and she did fairly well. She made it to the semifinals, and which was amazing for an 11-year-old. So, and then that kind of calmed down a little bit, and I've been just doing kind of private party gigs here and there, and some other projects. I'm trying to figure out how to revamp all of my social media, which is...
That's a job.
It is a job. It started with, how do I want to redo my website, and what do I want to do with that now? It could be, websites could be so many different things now. So trying to get a grip on all that stuff, and,
Yeah.
I like to procrastinate about these big jobs because they're big jobs. So
Procrastination is something you can do, and you can put it off if you want to. I mean, you don't have to get right to those things you want to procrastinate with. You can wait a while on those.
that's what I tell myself quite often. Yeah. It's a line that I particularly like. Yeah, there's no hurry, right? It'll always be there.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So now let me ask you a question. I brought up the topic of America's Got Talent, and you had an 11-year-old student who happened to be on the show. Now, obviously, that's something it's very trying for an 11-year-old, but how nervous were you? I mean, as an instructor, as her teacher, I'm sure you were just beside yourself with nerves on this, weren't you?
Yeah, I was nervous for her. It was definitely, I think anybody being on the show, even if you're an adult, even if you're a pro who's done it all, the show is a very high, pressure situation. One of the shows was live from Radio City Music Hall. Anna, my student, had to sing to tracks that night that she didn't get to spend much time with, and I didn't get to prepare her for at all because they weren't done in time. So it's a really intense situation, and yeah, I was nervous for her, but she did great. She really held up, and it was great to see her, progress as long as she did. So that's really all you can hope for when you have, somebody who's that good, that young.
Yeah.
Kind of trying to make their mark.
I think it says, a student obviously is a great reflection on the instructor and teacher who teaches them. So, her doing so well is obviously a great reflection upon you.
Well, yeah, thank you, Rich. It was great working with her. She's 11 now, and I've had her since she was 9. I can't at all take credit for the fact that she's incredibly gifted. She just really is gifted. But, students do as well as you push them. And I push my students, the adults, the same way. I push them very hard because, as as we all know, and as I think people learn even from listening to the show, the music industry is really, really, really competitive. And you've got to be good at what you do. So, I try to make sure that people know that when they're studying, you're only going to get as far as the ambition you have.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, speaking of ambition, how about things for you? I know you said you're doing a lot of private party things and stuff along those lines right now. So what's the music scene like out in Vegas these days? How are things going in that regard?
I think it's different than it used to be, for sure. I mean, when I first got here in 2008, there was a lot more music. It's definitely kind of, slowed down a little bit. But there are gigs. There's some really hot bands here that do really well. They work hard. The gigs are longer than they used to be. But other than that, it's been... I kind of stick to private parties lately because they're shorter gigs and I don't have to be out all night. And I'm usually alone. So it's a little bit easier for me to manage when they come in with, like this one I was telling you, I have a gig Tuesday night for a private party and they wanted all jazz standards. So I didn't have to rehearse a band for that or find, a bunch of people who really knew the real book really well. I just said yes, and then, put together my 2.5-hour set of standards that I know pretty well. So, yeah, so it's like anywhere. Music it's not as supported as it used to be, but it's there. You kind of have to go out and find it.
You think a lot of people are turning more to online venues for music, or are they going with leaving the independent acts and going with just named acts and stuff like that, or cover bands? What's the deal? What do you see going on out there where you're at?
Yeah, I think there's cover band gigs for for that medium level venue. But I think the other real issue that's happened over the last decade is as people spend less on music and as those higher end acts have gotten fewer gigs in the large venues that they're used to, they have now ended up at the medium level venues. So we see a lot of really big acts now here playing casinos, smaller venues that they probably would never have taken before. And so, of course, that means it bumps other people out of those, of those places. So I think all of the ways that the music industry has taken a hit have affected everybody. They've, if it's any consolation to the little guy out there, I think they've affected the big acts too. And everybody's just rolling with it, trying to figure out where they can play.
I guess you got to be a Terry Fader and walk around and sing with puppets these days to get a job or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there.
Well, there is one thing that's true about Vegas, and those kind of novelty Vegas-y shows really do well. But I have to say, there are some amazing musicians in this town, and some of the best bands you've ever seen. They have people here who play all kinds of music, and they are very impressive. So there's something for everybody.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, and I certainly hope that you'll agree with me, and hopefully we'll have something for everybody here on today's broadcast as well. I really appreciate you coming in, Andrea. Like I said, it's been way too long, and hopefully we'll find some music here today that you might like, and hopefully everybody on the show might like the music that we have today, because we do have 3 new songs that we're going to put in front of the panel, as I had mentioned earlier. So without further ado, why don't we just get right to it and take a listen to song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Here it is, everyone. This is song number 1.
Let them know. She barely got on anything. That's what she wearing. There's no room in them skin tight jeans. I keep staring. She keep looking here at me. I keep staring. You leaving the club with me. I keep staring. I keep staring. I keep staring at what you wearing. What you wearing. I keep staring. I keep staring at what you wearing. What you wearing. Soon as she enters, she becomes the center of attention. Let me mention, from head to toe, she killing the competition. And those jeans, it looks ridiculous. I'm surprised she could even fit in them. Got the tricks trying to spin on it. 100. Put a bin on it. She lets them talk that gibberish. She really can't make sense of it. They talk a good game, she won't be played. Her focus shifts cause she's not interested. My energy, she's feeling it. She can tell the difference. The difference is they pull a cash out like she really need a handout. Independent miss. All she wanna know is who's serious and not just trying to get in it. Feeding the drink so she would get sloppy, so she would lower her standards, get naughty. All they can see is that face in that body. They can show off, be the life of the party, but you can kill that cause she leaving with Poppy. That's what she wearing. There's no room in them skin tight jeans. I keep staring. She keep looking here at me. I keep staring. You leaving the club with me. I keep staring. I keep staring. I keep staring at what you wearing. What you wearing. I keep staring. I keep staring at what you wearing. What you wearing. Listen, you bad, so let's smash out. These bras looking ran down. These boys too turned up. Hey, don't get too worked up. The club's full of jerks, but hey, gon' let them flirt. Love, they act out. But after all those shots, man down. This vibe, they're after hours. The spot is the after hours. Let's ride into the sunset. Would love to see you undressed, but our night isn't done yet. It's just right if you come with them clueless. That looks stupid on that dumb. Yeah, get my hands on that, might lose it. Feel the thirst, but I'm coolin'. I'm coolin'. Do your sober thing or have a couple drinks. Occasionally catch you staring at me. I see you across the room, I can help but the beat. Your girl telling you that you better not leave, but you already know you were living with me. Just to keep it G. That's what she wearing. There's no room in them skin tight jeans. I keep staring. She keep looking here at me. I keep staring. You leaving the club with me. I keep staring. Let them know. I keep staring. I keep staring at what you wearing. What you wearing. What you wearing, what you wearing.
That is song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. We're going to get started straight away and find out what everybody thinks about what they just heard. Ian, what do you think about track number 1?
Okay. Interesting. I liked it. There was a lot going on in that backing track. The vocals sat out, but I did feel overall that mix was really top-endy and quite sharp. Especially in the reverbs. Everything was so bright that, I don't know, it just didn't balance properly for me. Everything was sort of fighting for its place. I think there's a lot of compression going on there as well. I mean, sonically, I like the sounds they were using, but it does feel like everything's on top of each other, and it's all very bright and in your face. The beats worked, the groove was there. Lyrically and vocally, he was pretty good, pretty tight. But again, as a song, it didn't jump out at me as anything that's new, or it's probably quite contemporary. It's not the sort of music I listen to, but it didn't stick out as anything that was really new. And the hook could have been stronger. It didn't grab me. It didn't sort of make me want to sort of listen more. And it didn't. The arrangement seemed to sort of be quite constant. This might be a thing with this over compression, but dynamically it sort of didn't up and down for me either. Yeah, it's a good demo. I think, as Tommy would say, it's a good demo.
All right, Ian, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Over to James Anderson and his thoughts. James, how about you? What do you think of track number 1 today?
Yeah, that's a very impressive start. I'd say it's quite radio friendly. It's the kind of thing I'd imagine being played over the tannoy in a department store, maybe. Not necessarily the kind of genre I'd listen to, but I was quite, I was getting into it, definitely. The only problems I had were very similar to Ian's problems. I found the mix to be a little bit muddy at times, especially with some of the more detailed stuff. Possibly overcompressed, although saying that, I think for that kind of genre, it's typically overcompressed anyway. And this is something that we face with a lot of contemporary music, and something that it'd be quite nice if we could hear a bit less of that. I think that lyrically it could be a bit more ambitious, but it probably suits the genre quite well. Overall, a good demo, and certainly sounds good enough quality for broadcast, really.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, James. Thank you very much. And Andrea Bensmiller, what do you think about this particular track?
God, I'm a huge R&B fan. I love R&B. It was the music that I spent the most time with in the 90s. And I think this tune has really locked in very entirely into the genre, how it's produced, the style, the vocal style, what it needs to be. I really, really like the rapper. I like that he, unlike a lot of rap that you hear on pop radio right now, which is very kind of quickly and aggressively spitted out. I like that he doesn't rap like that. I like that it's laid back and really chill, and kind of a different old school approach to rap that we used to hear a lot more often. I like the layering of the sounds. I thought there were some really great elements that were introduced, like there's a bell line that comes in halfway through the verse. That's exactly what you want to hear in a production that is trying to reach for the pop radio market. You need those elements that come in and out, that really differentiate the sections, and I think that was done well. Overall, I really liked the palette of sounds. I agree with Ian that it is a little high end. It's a little bit aggressive on the high end. And I'm having trouble hearing James today, so I only caught something about the mix that he said he thought it was a little bit muddy. And I think that on the low end, there probably could have been some carving out of the low end a little bit. The actual bass part wasn't particularly present to me. It was there, but it was kind of lost in some of the other sounds. And that's really the real struggle about these mixes that have a lot of layered sounds going on. You have to still try to carve out a space in the audio spectrum for every little, every little bit that you can, so that you can still hear them separately. And it's a challenge. So I think that is probably the one thing that could really be worked on the most. Love the song, though. I thought it was great. Great voice on the singer. Really well produced. I loved it.
All right. Well, very cool. I appreciate that. Thank you, Andrea. The name of this track, for everybody who's interested, it is called I Keep Staring by A-Dog, and it's a.k.a. Annikhan, if you're interested. Annikhan, thank you for sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. He was actually supposed to be on last week's show, but was bumped to this week because Ian's big head wanted to play. I'm just kidding, Ian. That's just part of the way it is.
My big head always wants to play.
Yeah, I know. That
just sounds wrong.
It does, doesn't it?
I was just saying that's not for here or now.
Yeah, well, all right. Forget I even brought it up then.
You started it.
I did. You're right. All right. Song number 2, everybody, is up for your listening pleasure. And here it is on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy it, everyone.
Another La Unica exclusive inexplainable ride in Miami nights, swing side to side to these Latin vibes. Listen, look around, places are so down deep in those Miami nights. Soak in the sound, baby, let's drown. Captured by Miami nights, feeling so alive on these Latin vibes. Searching for Miami nights in the 305 on a music high, loving those Miami nights. Searching for that place, searching for a cosmic space, looking for that venue, something brand new. Searching high and low, searching for that place to go. Fascination catching my eye, and excitement I can't hide. Clubbing days, every Friday night, electro waves, feeling crazy, nice energy, deep within me, feeling I could fly. A journey which you never knew, a journey you could travel through, been searching. so alive, when it's like vibes. In it's Miami vibes, high class fashion, nightlife full of action, musical perfection. In it's Miami now, lots of inspiration, turned into a creation, a favorite destination. Loving is Miami now, beautiful attraction. I wanna go where you go full of passion. You will see a show, embracing affection. Can't achieve my idea in the sadness I can't hide. Searching for that place, searching for the love action, the cosmic space, musical perfection that didn't use something brand new. It's Miami Nights. Another La Unica exclusive.
Unica. I like that. All right, everyone. That is song number 2. We're going to find out what James thinks of it. First, James, your thoughts on this track. What do you think?
I think it's good. I don't want to sound too negative because I've picked up on a few things. I don't want to come across like I'm picking it to shreds because I'm really not. I don't think that there was enough sonic variety in there given the repetition of the track. It was something that needed to be added to make it a little bit more interesting because it became a little bit too repetitive. Also, my major problem was with the vocals because they were slightly lost in the mix at times, especially when any effects were brought up. And I feel that maybe it would have benefited more by experimenting with a bit of double tracking, and sometimes the timing of the vocals was slightly off. Positives, the bass was a good level. I think that it was a track that just needed to get going a bit more, really. Apart from that, it's a good effort as a demo, but it just needs a few bits tweaked, really. I think that's all I have to say.
All right, James. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Andrea, how about you? What do you think of track number 2?
Well, I agree with James on everything that he said. I would say, and I know Ian is going to go totally into all the mix stuff, so I'm going to let him do that. But in terms of the song, it's a fairly redundant melody that goes on for kind of a long time. So to me, the song structure could really use some work because that, that redundancy, especially if you're talking about putting it over a track that's not changing much or not particularly interesting, makes the whole thing kind of seem long and not too engaging. So if you're going to do that with it can be one or the other. Either the track is going to be like that with a really, absorbing melody and great vocals, or you have to rethink how you're going to present that. The sounds are a little bit out of the box for me. When we say out of the box, we usually mean they sound like they came out of a, pre-programmed software, batch of sounds. And there's sometimes really nothing wrong with that, but then you really kind of need to make sure your mix is kind of awesome. And this one was a little flat. Speaking directly to the vocalist, there's one real solid way that any professional vocalist can tell whether a vocalist has been trained or not, and that's whether there's any real tone and support in the sound of the vocal. Now, this girl, obviously, she can sing in tune and all that, which is great, but to be engaging as a vocalist, we really have to have the support of the body so that when you sing, you can really hear that that excellence, that it's held up by by the rest of your body. It has tone, it has accuracy in the pitch, flexibility when you try to do something that's like a little more complicated line. And I can tell that this vocalist hasn't really trained much because those three elements were lacking. She's got a good base of a voice, but most of us we start off with decent voices, and we have to start training towards a more professional level because the level of singing out there today is actually pretty high. So I would say to the vocalist, find a good coach. Start working on that because you've got a lot to work with. But things were a little pitchy sometimes, not too accurate, but mostly I can sense that your tone is not all the way there, and that could be better. So I'll let Ian go into all the other mix stuff.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Andrea. Thank you very much. And I'm not going to repeat what Pinky said out in the chat room. You can read it for yourself if you're in. It's funny, though. It really is. All right,
diaphragmic
Ian?
support by clinching the sphincter.
Yeah. I just wasn't going to say that, but it's been said now, so there you have it. All right, Ian, your thoughts on track number 2.
Well, thank you, Andrea, for passing over the mix to me. Mix-wise, I didn't actually have too many problems with it, except for that vocal. I think the backing track, as it were, was well produced. I think it was well mixed. I like the sonics. I like the ambience to it. And then you've got the vocal. And I don't feel that the same level of production and mix quality has gone into that vocal piece. Maybe this is someone who's taken this backing track from someone else and put their vocal over the top of it. I agree with James to start with. Needs to be some vocal support in there. There were some parts in there where it was begging out for harmonies and layers to sort of give it that more atmospheric feel to go along with the atmospheric feel that the track had. I agree with Andrea. The performance was not tight and could be better. But I think, this girl has got the quality to deliver that sort of breathy quality vocal that she was trying to do. But I think a lot of that is in production. That is taking the time to have someone go, stop, try it again, get that tighter, work here, work there. It does sound like, the level of production between the vocals and the backing is two different worlds away from each other. And from a mix point of view as well, the reverbs and the delays used on that vocal, I didn't feel really were fitting with the rest of the track. The other thing I was struggling with was that sort of genre thing. You've got that sort of dance track going on behind, which worked really well as a standalone sort of piece. And then you've got this vocal over the top of it, which was a bit more airy and a bit more floaty and a bit more haunting, that didn't quite lock in with that sort of pumpier feel of the dance track to my mind. I think there was an acoustic guitar or something coming in there at some point in time, and that sort of made me think that, maybe you want to sort of reinvent this a little bit, take some of them synths out, replace it, put some acoustic guitars down, and try and change the genre of the song a little bit as well, and you might find that vocal starts to fit in a lot better.
All right, Ian, sounds great. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. The name of this song for everybody, it is called Miami Nights by Unica, and we appreciate Unica sending Miami Nights into Music Scene Investigation. If you got a song you'd like to get in front of our panel, easy to do. Go to musicsceneinvestigation.com, click Submit a Song at the top of the page, and we'll get it in front of the panel, and that's just the way that works. All right, we have one more song for everybody to take a listen to, song number 3 on today's broadcast. Here it is, everyone. Certainly hope you enjoy it. I know I will. Song number 3. Enjoy. That is song number 3 on the broadcast today. We're going to go back to our panel, find out what they thought of it, starting out with Andrea this time around. Andrea, your take on song number 3. What do you think?
Wow, I really like this song. It was, you know, it was like one of those perfect, like punkish rock songs. I like the band. You can tell they play together nice and tight. There was that section where they had those kicks, whether they all played together at the end of the second verse. Really kind of dug that too. The chorus I thought was catchy with that kind of like Beatlesque chord progressions that are a little more complicated than what you hear out there right now. I love that the verse and the chorus are really distinct sections, but still both of them like very well crafted in terms of the melody. I like the lead vocalist voice, nice and solid. I love the harmonies behind it on the chorus. The only thing I would say has to do with the mix, and that to me the bass was really hot. I thought the bass player was great. But it was really, really in your face, and I could have used maybe a more of an even blend of the band. Though the drums seem where they're usually placed in rock music is kind of slightly behind the rest of the band, and that totally worked. But that bass was so kind of in your face. It was. Other than the vocal, it was the thing that was most present to me, and I thought that could be smoothed out a little bit. Other than that, I just loved it. It's a great song. Love the energy of the band. I thought it was very tight, really well done.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Andrea. Thank you very much. Now let's go over to Ian and get his take on it. Ian, track number 3 over to you. What do you think?
Andrea's still a lot what I was going to say. There's definitely a Beatlesque feel to this in a sort of punk pop way. The sort of harmonies they were using on that as well on that chorus. You know, it's got a hook. I would like the hook to be a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger. The backing vocals are there, but I don't know. I just want that to sort of be a bit more uplifting from that point of view. But I mean, otherwise, I really dig this. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on. The drummer was grooving. Really did like the drums and the drum sound. The bass player, as Andrea said, was a tad loud. But he held down the groove very, very well. Guitars, I don't know. Personally, they were a little bit too dirty for my liking. Too dirty as in they were getting in the way of the vocals at some points. Just on that sort of top end sort of spitefulness. But, I mean, you know, I understand where they're coming from, wanting that sort of dirty sound for this sort of track. Vocals performance was good, like the guy's voice, and I said there is a good hook there. Just would like to hear it bigger. Yeah, overall, I mean, this is a good song, and certainly I would say is radio ready.
All right, Ian, I appreciate your thoughts there as well. Yeah, go ahead.
And they sound British.
Okay, well, I guess they get points for that too. I'm not sure. All right, James, your thoughts on track number 3. What do you think, James?
Well, I thought that was a fantastic track, but I'm beginning to think it was mixed by the bassist. I have a very strong feeling that may have happened. Maybe the bassist is particularly strong of opinion when it comes to the mix sessions. But no, absolutely fantastic. The only problems for me were mix issues, really. And then again, they're only very minor. I personally like harsh guitars, so I don't think I quite agree there with Ian, but that's not a massive point. Maybe just a slight bit of adjustment there. They definitely had a lot of character, and you could tell that, as Andreas said, they evidently play a lot together and get on well. That really comes through in the feel of the track. I think that they're definitely going for a little bit of the old-fashioned sound that both panelists have mentioned the Beatles. I'd definitely be in full agreement with that. There's definitely influences there. What else did I put in the notes? Yeah, I think it had a good edge to it. It had the sort of poppy feel, but at the same time it had that sort of harsh punk edge to it, which I think complemented it rather nicely. Overall, it's good. Just a few things need to be adjusted, and it's good stuff.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, James. Thank you very much. The name of track number 3 for everyone who wants to know, it's called Floating So Fast by Phono Emergency Tool. We really appreciate Phono Emergency Tool sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. All right, gentlemen,
name.
it is. It's really an interesting name. I don't know what a Phono Emergency Tool is, but
it sounds like something we need on MSI.
Everyone should have one, I think. Yeah, you're right. All right, guys and gal, you have a task still left to do in front of you. That is decide on the song of the week. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Before I do, however, I want to remind everybody that our song of the week selectees carry on into our hit list competition. And our hit list competition is sponsored by Landar.com. Landar.com, online mastering made easy. You drag and drop interface. They have algorithms which determine the genre of the music and master it to the best of their ability. If you want to try it out for free, you can by clicking on a Landar.com icon or banner on our website. And for the hit list winners, they get a 1-year pro subscription to Landar.com, entitling them to as many uncompressed WAV file masters as they'd like, along with 192K compressed MP3 masters as well. We appreciate Landar.com supporting MSI. All right, everybody on the panel, the task is to make that Song of the Week selection, so I turn it over to you.
Well, I'm going to jump in. This one's easy for me this week. And I'm going to go straight for number 3. I liked number 2. It was quirky, but it does need work. Number 1, I felt had its problems. This, to me, is probably the best presentation and the best track, song-wise, we've heard tonight. So number 3.
All right. James, Andrea, what do you think?
Go ahead, James.
Okay, no problem. Well, I think I'm going to have to agree with Ian there. I'll do a Tommy and agree with Ian. Track number 3 for me is the clear winner. 1 and 2, great efforts. Track number 1 I felt was a very close contender, but 3 absolutely fantastic. Very little needs to be done for improvement there. Very good all round.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I really liked track number 1, but as you know, I always choose my song of the week based on what is totally complete in how close to being ready to get out there it is, and that's clearly number 3. It's a great track. It's well produced. Really liked it. The least amount of issues. So looks like we're all on the same page this week.
Hurrah!
It certainly
That happens
does.
every time I'm on the show.
Well, it's unanimous. The song of the week is track number 3, Floating So Fast by Phono Emergency Tool. And we appreciate everybody who sent their music in. And we'll have 3 new songs next week right here on Music Scene Investigation. And Andrea, James, both of you, I want to thank you for tuning in. But I got to thank Andrea because she is one of my favorites, and I know Ian's as well. So, Andrea, thank you very much for being here with us. And is it hot out in Vegas right now? Is it like still summer?
It's cooling down. This week has been great. It's finally out of the triple digits. So, yeah, it's approaching fall.
That's good to hear. I was worried. I was out in Vegas in December back in like 1982, and it was like still 110. So
yeah, the summer months are definitely a little bit of misery. So
yeah, there is.
But it was great being here with you guys.
Oh, we appreciate it, and everybody can find out more about
show. Andrea
at dreadvox.com. You still have that. That's the website you're wanting to redo, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm since I cut off the dreads, I'm toying with the idea of completely changing all the names of stuff. So,
just put an in front of it. The undread box.
Yeah. Yeah.
It works.
I know a good graphic designer if you need one.
Oh, great. Cool. You never know.
Just saying.
Oh, there you have it. There you have it. Thanks, Andrea. James, thank you as well. And,
no problem. It's been a pleasure as always.
We're going to be back again next week. Of course, on the 8th of October, I want everybody to tune in for the hit list, MSI hit list. We'll take all the songs from September, put them against each other, and find out what song of the week becomes our Band of the Month winner. And I do want to make a last-minute reminder about our yearly competition, our Artist of the Year, Panelist of the Year, which is actually coming up quick. Voting starts in November, and that award ceremony is going to be happening in January of next year. So we want to make sure that everybody joins us for that as well. However, for right now, I'm going to ask Ian the ever-important question that he's going to tell me. It's a surprise, Rich. It's a surprise. Ian.
I just wish you made our website faster. I mean, you kept telling me it's faster. I'm trying to find out, and I can't, and it's not working. And what do I do?
Yeah, I still need you. You can say it's a surprise. I know you're going to anyway.
It's a surprise.
Oh, there you go. So tune in next week when we'll find out together who's going to be on the panel of Music Scene Investigation. Until then, we're going to play out with Phono Emergency Tool and their track, Floating So Fast. Thanks for being here, everyone. We'll talk to you again next time on Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.